Hello, everybody, and this is the final segment of this small series. And today I'm going to talk about what it takes to be a good grant writer. Somebody out there who's got the skills, not just to write grants, but to put a business case together for anything, whether it's to go to the bank, whether it's to apply for money from somewhere, whether it's to go out there and lobby for your interests. It's amazing the skills that are required for a consistent grant writer. I say consistent, somebody who's out there all the time, because they're going to develop this real strong skill set. And what do I mean? These are transferable skills. They've got to be a really good research analyst to be able to get to the data and prove evidence of need. And they'll be able to find out where to find the information in the first place, which is great, isn't it? You don't have to look for it if you know somebody who knows where to look. You have to be a really good project planner, somebody who can bring in how something's going to come together. Some of my clients come to me with this little seed of an idea, and I end up bringing the whole thing together. That's what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, what are the outcomes, outputs, who's going to be responsible, how they're going to oversight the project, what are the risks involved, how much it's going to cost them. All this information has to be put together. The more complex the application, the even more diligent you need to be in regard to how much this project's going to cost, how much time and effort it's going to take from the organization. Who are the resources and what are the resources that's going to be needed? So a really good person in this space is a really good project planner. And they can see the risks and they can mitigate them. They also need to be a good marketer, because I say that grant applications is an example of marketing on steroids, because you've got to be out there and you've got to be just above the crowd. Well, not just, if you can get way above the crowd, you're doing well, but get above the crowd and stand out, because there are a lot of applications for the small pot of money. May sound like a large pot of money, and in some cases, like 200 million across the country. But when we actually took it down to jurisdictions, there wasn't a lot of money there at all. So you have to be able to persuade, to show the evidence, to show that you are going to be the experts with minimum risk to the funder. That's the definition of value for money. It's not about being cheap. It's about being able to produce the quality within the timeline at the appropriate price, not the cheapest, because that's the clue that it might all fall apart. A good grant person is somebody who's also financially literate, because the budget has got to be fine. It has got to be balanced. How much income you're looking for, where it's coming from, is it being confirmed, versus the budget, the eligible expenditure, the expenditure which isn't eligible, which is maybe part of the project. You've got to make sure of the in-kind costs, for example. So in-kind means in some cases that you can actually add things like volunteer hours or room hire or venue or anything where there is no actual direct financial cash estimate, but there is the opportunity cost of those resources. So you can have in-kind as well. So you really need to be able to balance what's requested from the funder, what's coming in from other organizations, including your own, cash and in kind, and then on the other side of the book, what are you going to spend, etc. And finally, you need to be a good negotiator, because this is what it is. It's going back to being that marketer. You need to be able to negotiate with potential partners. You may need to negotiate even within your own organization, where you're drawing the resources from. If you're in an organization where you always need permission from the top. And it's the higher the grant amount, the stronger the likelihood that the funder will require a letter from the top level to show that this grant has been approved and will be supported. I've seen examples of this fall down where middle level people have applied and then they've got the money and it's not been supported. So here we go, saying to you, people out there who write grant applications or submissions or tenders for a living are people who are multi-skilled and they're very good at business planning. So if you know somebody out there, there's us, of course, but if you know somebody out there, give them some respect. You never know, they could change your life.